And we are back for round 3 of the last chance qualifier for season 5 of the Eternal Tournament series. And of course, we're bringing more awesome Eternal action at you here with the nice little time matchup. We've got BobertJoe or BobertJoe. I'll never know how to actually say it. I don't have a pronunciation guide yet. On Combre Aggro, lots of lower to the ground cards like Awakened Student, maxing out on Seraphs and Valkyrie Enforcers and Obelisks, the top end just being Carnosaur, just trying to take control of the board, let's stand together, let you keep it, and kill your opponent. We saw this a little bit in coverage yesterday as well. On the other end, we've got Dr. Parkinson on Praxis, which looks like a bigger-ish style of Praxis. 2 Mystic Ascendants, the full suite of Talir's favored Temple Scribe, Xenon Obelisk, Amber Acolyte. Also full up on Champion of Impulse. So both decks playing a lot of 3-drops, a lot of Obelisks, a lot of Amber Acolytes, a lot of power. So big units on both sides, 4 Obelisks on both sides. Crucially, this Praxis deck does not have the Shatterglass Mages in the main deck. So we'll see. I imagine those will come in and be a large impact card with 4 Obelisks on the other end. But in the meantime, yep, players are going into the match, and we'll give them the go-ahead in just a moment to do we have the right challenge here? Is this the right? Hold on, let me make sure, Doctor. Actually, okay, this is correct, but we're against xsipix. Okay, I got bad info here. All right, so we'll see who. Let me get what their. Let's figure out what Bobert's opponent's actually on. Ooh, xsipix is on Felm Control. I also have no idea how to pronounce their name. But okay, we do have the correct matchup. We just had the bad info. So we're not getting a time mirror at all here. Instead, we're going to see 4 different factions between 2 decks, as we've got Combre Aggro versus Felm Control. Felm Control, not super happy to be staring down a deck with 3 stand-togethers, but still happy to be playing against a time-based mid-range deck at the very least. But stand together a real pain for Felm Control to deal with, especially when you have no. Oh man, xsipix has no backlashes anywhere to match it. So it's going to have to lean on like Sabotage or Rain of Frogs post board maybe to try and play around that card. I know from experience playing Felm Control that stand together can be a real nightmare. But either way, still should be an excellent, exciting matchup. Wow. Yeah, xsipix with the one of Azindel's Gift, going with the Celestial Omen package, but still having 2 channels, 2 Veras on the top end. So lots of big top end for this Felm Control deck. Going to lean hard on the Felm Bloodcaster and Lightning Storm to stave off early pressure. Of course, Awakened Student can get out of Lightning Storm range rather quickly, and Combre Healers, Seraphs, Valkyrie Enforcer, none of that's dying to Lightning Storm either. So, and Permafrost is just a good silence target. But as this game goes underway, we'll see how it ends up playing out. As BobertJoe has an Initiate of the Sands, can't play it. No time sources in hand. Has that Amber Acolyte taunting him as well. So xsipix is going to get control of this board, and BobertJoe is going to be stuck on power. Needs to find a time source, and ideally an undepleted time source, as soon as possible. But even if it's depleted, he'll be able to manage to start establishing something on board. But if he misses again here, xsipix simply might get too far ahead. Might be on a control deck, but Felm Control still plays a lot of units that can kill you very quickly. Felm Bloodcaster, Steward of the Past, Champion of Coming, Black Sky Harbinger, all have attack values. They can hit your opponent. We'll see what Bobert's opponent xsipix does here. It's in the tank right now. Hasn't played a 4th power yet. We don't have a hand cam set up for them, so I can only speculate what they're thinking about. Maybe wisdoming to draw cards right now, or playing Bloodcaster or Vera's Favor, or I imagine they have something to do. Oh, xsipix realizing, looks like that they still have sideboarded cards in and saying that Bobert wins. That is not actually the case. We'll get Rekenner on we'll get Rekenner on this in a second. As long as you haven't actually played a sideboard card, I believe that doesn't mean you get the automatic game loss. And because Bobert didn't do anything there, I don't believe we'll get the game win. Again, I'll get word from our TO about that. But xsipix realized he had a sideboard card. It might be the turn that it was noticed. So because we'll see. Again, we'll get a ruling from Rekenner. Okay, looks like xsipix is right then. Okay, because it wasn't noticed on turn 1, that's when we grant lenient. Instead, because the game was actually played out, even though one player was ahead and had nothing to do with the sideboard card. Rules are rules. It's we don't want to hit any gray area. So because it was later than turn 1, Bobert does get the game 1 win there, and we get to go to sideboard. So Rekenner will be communicating that to both players. We'll go to sideboard. Bobert will be up 1 game here, and it'll be up to the players to now actually sideboard. They won't be receiving any game losses in these games going forward, as they're supposed to have sideboard cards in it. So, yeah, I'm getting a ruling here. Will be again. We didn't have view of xsipix's side of the board either, so I don't know if he immediately drew it or not. Things like that. And again, we don't want to have different rules just because you were on camera as well. So, yeah. Bobert already has an afterboard Feln prepared, and I imagine xsipix also has a sideboard prepared for this matchup. And here we go, game 2. So Bobert is up a game, and we'll keep this as it's got to stand together. It's got some 2 drops. It's got Aegis unit and Copper Hull Elite. Excellent unit against Feln, especially once you give it +1/+1. As a 4/4, it does get blocked by all these 2 5s and 3 5s and 5 5s. Everything else that Feln's throwing at you. But once you have this obelisk in play, and it becomes a 5/5 overwhelm Aegis, that becomes a lot more of a headache for Feln control. So Bobert opting to bring in these Copper Hall Elites. Wouldn't be shocked to see like the Reality Warden there. Looks like no protects at all in Bobert's deck, though, so that's going to bring a sigh of relief from xsipix side. And yeah, Bobert does not draw a power yet, does not play out this Desert Marshal. And yeah, he kept a 2-power hand on the play and does not find it. Instead finds an Amber Acolyte to taunt him. And yeah, there's those Reality Wardens. So kind of the same game going on here, except Bobert can cast spells, just opting to not go with beatdowns on Desert Marshals. Instead, holding them to silence things, which I don't know. I would have liked at least trying to get 1 on the board and start beating. So now this Desert Marshal will get to silence a 3/5. And Bobert's hoping to find some undepleted power and instead finds a Seraph. Yeah, Bobert's only playing 24 power, but also has 4 initiates and those 4 acolytes. I'm guessing he's wishing these Amber Acolytes now would have been extra Amber Monuments, something like that, as while you can use them to get power, it costs 3 to do that at first. But yeah, Bobert crucially finds a banner. It is undepleted as this Desert Marshal survived the turn. As xsipix, all xsipix did there was use Island's Favor to gain power. So Bobert gets to get this Amber out of hand, get a 4th power in, and unlock things like Obelisk or Copper Hall Elite for the next turn. But woof. Black Sky Harbinger comes down, takes out both 2/1s. The Obelisk wasn't out yet to take him out of range. Bobert finds a Diplo Seal and will play the Copper Hall Elite. But now xsipix has this 3/5 Lifesteal Flyer. Is up to 7 power to Bobert's 4. He's going to keep beating down here. So now Bobert can choose to get Obelisk down here. But that's, it's nice to get that out of hand before Sabo shows up and get this 4/4 to a 5/5, but I think he wants more on the board before committing this Obelisk. And yeah, we see the Seraph come down, the Desert Marshal get held up, try and take this 3/5 flyer out of the sky, I imagine. xsipix, at the very least, can activate Bloodcaster here and chooses to do so. Has like 7 cards already in hand. Now goes up, or 6 cards already in hand? Yeah, went up to 8. And Sabotage here, I think if you're xsipix, you'll take the Stand Together, even though your opponent's tight on power. That card is just such a pain to deal with. And yeah, Stand Together gets ripped out, and this Black Sky Harbinger then gets taken out of the sky and taken down by these Overwhelm units on Bobert's side of the board. So slow start from Bobert, but hanging on here. That annoying that you lost out on the stand together, but you've got more in your deck, hopefully. And for now, he just gets down an obelisk. xsipix rips a Carnosaur with Felon Bloodcaster from Bobert. Bobert wasn't going to be able to cast it anyways. Well, I guess by finding power he could. And takes out this Copper Hull Elite, which normally is so difficult for Felon to deal with. And Bobert chooses to double block the Steward of the Past and lose both units. Little surprised by that, but I guess he just didn't want to take that 3 damage. This Reality Warden is an 8/8, can get permafrosted, and instead gets feeding timed. So that gets removed from the board, and xsipix takes Bobert at least to 1. Maybe a Varus Favorite Hero will finish it off, or maybe Black Sky Harbinger will show up to finish off Bobert, or he's also just dead on board. And that's what happens here. And we get to go to game 3. So remember, Bobert did get game 1 due to that deck violation from xsipix. So this will go to game 3. And I imagine the players won't change their sideboard too much and get the challenge out pretty quickly. So we at the very least saw the sabotages come in for xsipix. Again, that can hit both obelisk and stand together. So while there aren't a ton of hits in Bobert's deck for sabotage, they're so high priority, so crucial that it's worth bringing in sabotage for. At least xsipix thinks that. I'm not sure if something like Rain of Frogs is also going to come in. It is a nice card to hit crucial cards, but it's very expensive, can disrupt your curve, and against a low curve card that the Cambrai aggro deck is preventing, it's a little bit risky. So I'm not sure if xsipix is going to go that far with hand disruption. The Last Word is another card that's excellent against Cambrai style decks, as they don't really have reach to take it out, but it also costs 9. But I could see xsipix taking something like a channel or a gift out for that, or just taking those top end cards down and lowering your curve to make sure you can handle the board. Same with something like Staff of Stories. If you can really clog up the board, Staff of Stories can sit there for a while, but it takes some setup to do so. So it might end up being ultimately a bit more of a win more card than a crucial card in this matchup. And again, we'll have to wait and see. So there's challenges out, and here we go, game 3, the decider. And Bobert keeps a hand that has more than 2 power and an excellent curve. We'll see if he opens on this monument or decides to hang on to it. And okay, now that he sees the Cambrai banner, we'll definitely hang on to this monument. It's really nice curve. It can just be a good curve out here. Already has 4 sources of power in, and xsipix just going to use Vera's favor to ensure that he's also going to hit power on the future turns. Bobert opting to not play Awakened Student here, instead playing out the banner. Maybe wanting Awakened Student to dodge Lightning Storm, but I honestly would be surprised if xsipix even kept in that many Lightning Storms in this matchup. So, but I mean, it is what it is. Bobert still got the Awakened Student in play. If xsipix did have Lightning Storm, it was worth dodging it there. And yeah, now the Awakened Student comes out, starts bashing in. Bobert will probably get the Titan down, pray that both of these units survive, and just slam Stand Together next turn and make xsipix have to deal with these. Another favor comes out for the Felon player here. So that's 3 favors for xsipix. Plenty of power. A 4th favor comes out, and Bobert's got to be licking his chops right now. I mean, this is just going to be brutal. He could get greedy with this, stand together, and play out more units, but I would expect it's going to get slammed down here. But no, Bobert doesn't use stand together there. Going to hold it up instead. And all right, that means this Black Sky Harbinger won't pop the Aegises from it. We'll probably just Desert Marshal here. Yeah. So silencing the Black Sky Harbinger, and then I'm expecting, yeah, another Awakened Student comes down, just more targets for Stand Together, and this board is just going to get out of control and really hard for xsipix to deal with. Bobert continuing to hold up Stand Together rather than preemptively use it for a little bit of extra damage. And another Harbinger comes down. Now he's got to decide if he wants this unit to die. No, he doesn't. All right. So all the Aegises get popped, but he preserves this 3-2. xsipix doesn't gain the 4 life, instead only gains 1 from Harbinger. And xsipix will just scoop it up there, as Bobert was going to be able to silence plus Finest Hour for definite lethal. So that'll be the match. Bobert gets it 2-1. And we'll look into if there are any backups. I haven't checked the bracket yet or gotten word. But in the meantime, congrats to Bobert. He gets the win. I believe that puts him into the 3-0 bracket. And then xsipix still very much alive to make top 8, I believe. I believe both players were undefeated going into that round. So xsipix will just be 2-1. Bobert will go to 3-0. And yeah, okay, they were both 2-0. So yeah, Bobert in the driver's seat to top 8, 3-0. Still though 6 rounds today, so lots of game left to play. And yeah. Okay, it doesn't look like we've got any backup, so we're just going to take a quick break here and get back to some more Eternal action in just a moment. This is Sir Rhino for the ETS, and we'll see you again real soon.